everybody. Coming to you probably a little later than usual. That's on me. I've been in the swamps. If you've seen me around, you might have noticed I've been walking with my head down with a cloud over my head. It is what it is. But regardless, we all got to bear witness to greatness this weekend. This was the light of my weekend. Khabib Nurmagomedov, UFC lightweight world champion, that's 155 pounds, defeated Justin Gaethje by second round submission, TKO by submission, in a fight where he completely dominated and dictated the pace. From the very beginning, he did exactly what he said he was going to do. He took Justin to the deepest part of the ocean, and he drowned him. He outworked him. From the very beginning of the fight, pressure. Justin couldn't fight the way... It was a more traditional Justin. Khabib forced the Justin of 2 years ago. Because Justin wasn't able to settle in like he did against Tony Ferguson, Khabib wouldn't allow it. So Justin was swinging wild, swinging big drastic movements. He didn't have the defensive movement that he did when he fought Tony Ferguson. Khabib wouldn't let him have it. Justin was finding success with the leg kicks. He was tearing Khabib's leg up. It was starting to bruise, starting to get red. Seemed like that was part of the game plan, which, was evident to, any casual fan who knows Justin Gaethje knows that his main road to success was with the leg kicks. Trevor Whitman, Justin Gaethje's head coach, enforced that between rounds 1 and 2, encouraged more of it. It was on the second or third leg kick that Justin Gaethje threw in the second round. Khabib was able to slide under, double leg feint, back, took the back, then into full mount, then into mounted triangle, and then hooked Justin's leg so Justin couldn't slam him as he turned over. Justin had tapped about 3 times. The referee didn't catch it. I suppose perhaps it was an awkward angle. I could tell from my camera angle. Justin ended up passing out. Afterwards, Khabib fell in the center of the cage, began weeping. What a moment. Certainly in remembrance of his father, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, who passed away earlier this year to complications of COVID-19. Longtime mentor to Khabib, longtime head coach. Of course, his father, this guy meant everything to this guy. And then his foundation was suddenly ripped out from under him. Dana White said afterwards in the post-fight press conference that we were lucky to see him fight this time. Interesting. And certainly, lucky is a good way to look at it. It's the humble way of looking at it. When you consider the greatness of what Khabib has accomplished, I find it to be unparalleled, unrivaled across all sports. The consequences are so hefty in mixed martial arts, particularly in the UFC, when it comes to winning, when it comes to losing. You can't give up a first down in an MMA fight because that might mean a flash KO. That might mean a knee tap into side control or something. A complete surrender of position. It reminded me of when Michael Jordan won the NBA championship and how he reacted after his father had passed, the one he won after that. Very similar. So what this does now is this leaves a void open. Khabib retires afterwards. He says, ain't no way I'm doing this without my father. So he retires afterwards. The belt is vacant. Now, while it isn't signed, the bout happening in January, Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier 2, the rematch, that for all intensive purposes could be switched to a title fight. At the very least, it's a number 1 contender fight. The winner would fight presumably Justin Gaethje for the new 155-pound world title. There have been calls for a lightweight tournament. The UFC would never do that. They're notoriously anti-tournament. The last one I truly remember them having was the flyweight tournament with Demetrius Johnson, Joseph Benavidez, Ian McCall, and another dude. Man, that one was chock filled with controversy. But so with Khabib vacating the title, the current, and they usually update these on Tuesday. The current UFC lightweight rankings are Justin Gaethje at 1, Dustin Poirier 2, Tony Ferguson 3, Conor McGregor 4, Dan Hooker 5, Charles Oliveira 6, Paul Felder 7, Diego Ferreira 8. It'd be cool if they did they could do an 8-man tournament. You get all kinds of cool matchups. Charles Oliveira versus Tony Ferguson would be nice. Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor are already linked up, so maybe Dan Hooker and Justin Gaethje. And then Paul Felder and Diego Ferreira. Then have ally Quinto or Beneil Dariush as a reserve. Or maybe Islam Makhachev. Perhaps the heir apparent to Khabib. Also coming out of UFC 254 in the co-main event, Robert Whittaker defeated Jared Cannonier by decision. Judges had it 2-1. The first round was a bit dicey. I felt like it could have gone either way, but I thought the second 2 rounds, rounds 2 and 3, were clearly Robert's. Though Jared, man, showed his resilience, which was a word that was mentioned a lot in the build-up to the fight, especially in regard to Jared Cannonier. There's a moment in the third round where he was rocked by a head kick, I think. He survives, and then he turns around and he rocks Bobby Knuckles for a minute. But all in all, behind the work of a solid jab and slick combinations, head kicks, as the exclamation point, Bobby Knuckles got it done. Robert Whittaker maintains his number 1 spot in the rankings. Looks like the match to make is him versus Israel Adesanya, the rematch. It's well earned. I mean, it's not the fight you can argue against. Since Robert Whittaker lost the title to Israel Adesanya, he fought Darren Till and Jared Cannonier. 2 ranked guys. 2 top 6 ranked guys. I mean, what else does the guy need to do? It's the fight to make. It's an awesome fight for the Oceanic region. Australia versus New Zealand. Of course, we'll be pulling for Bobby Knuckles. Team Polynesia all day. And should be an excellent contest. Hopefully, there are changes that Robert makes in... and I'm sure there will be. So there's no reason to hope when you know what's going to happen. I'm sure Robert will make changes from the first fight to the second fight. Perhaps he'll try to slow down the pace of the fight. Maybe this time he'll incorporate more of his grappling, perhaps more of the clinch, which I feel is really strong at. I think that showed against Jared Cannonier, and I think if it shows up against Israel Adesanya, then who knows what could happen. But that was UFC 254. It was a spectacular event, which I had mentioned on previous episodes of this podcast and on the Closers podcast. So hopefully you're paying attention to those. Besides that, it's Monday, prepping hard for a presentation here on the Armageddon clock. But right after that, straight into that, man, we're looking at NFL Monday Night Football. Our LA Rams are defending Stan Canyon against the Chicago Bears. It's going to be a tough game. I feel like it's a big win for the Rams if we can get it. We need it. It would really validate our position in the NFC if we could get a win against the Bears at this time. On paper, it looks like this is going to be a game of defense. Of course, on the Bears defense, you got fucking Khalil Mack. Need not say no more. And then on our defense, of course, you got AA, 99 Aaron Donald. Second in the league right now with sacks of 7.5. So whoever's defense It's going to be a contest of stamina for our defense, and then on offense, whose offense can explode at the right moment to get out a lead. Hopefully, that's going to be us. I feel good about it. You should feel good about it. Hopefully, you tune in, and hopefully, you're tuning in to us. Anywho, I'm Addy here. As always, stay safe, stay smart, God bless, and peace out.